Here we are in Sean's room.
I'm glad you could make it today because I'm about to go on a fabulous journey into time. Now, I want to see how the future looks like, and I will see flying cars up in the air. Now, stay tuned because you'll be listening to me.
Time travel. Can it happen? Time travel. Can it happen? It actually happened to me at this very beach a long time ago. Out there. I was catching a mediocre wave when all of a sudden when I came up from the whitewash, the weather had changed and the beach was empty. Thinking I had been left behind, I climbed the hill here to the car park, only to find the fence rusted away and the car park full of rusty vehicles, but not old ones, super streamlined new cars with ghastly skeletal passengers. The only sound was from the wind and the roar of the ocean. I wish now I had investigated some more, but I decided to go back into the water and find the exact place I was when me and my board left the normal beach. As soon as I duck dived under the first wave, I was back. Only this question keeps me awake at night, and it burns within my mind. How long does it take for metal to rust? There's been other forms of time travel throughout history. Here's the top 4, starting with Rudolph Fence. Back in good old 1950, a gentleman was hit and killed by a taxi cab in New York City. So what, you say, with apparent no regard for human life? Well, the cabbie claimed the oddly dressed man came out of nowhere. Of course, the hit-and-run cabbie would say that, wouldn't he? Well, the gentleman in question was wearing extremely odd clothing. Very old-fashioned, in fact. And in the old-fashioned pockets of the dead man were found old coins from the 19th century, a receipt for a horse wash stable that once existed on Lexington Avenue in New York City. Investigators also found business cards belonging to a Dr. Rudolph Fence. A letter addressed for that doctor's business was also discovered, but the postage date was 1876. Funny enough, the paper and the coins showed no signs of age, as if they were brand new. Investigators then tried to locate Rudolph Fence in the phone book, because this happened in the 50s, before the invention of the evil that is Facebook. They managed to happen upon Rudolph Fence Jr. Calling him up, they discovered he had passed away 5 years earlier, but his widow claimed that his father, Rudolph Fence Sr., had vanished when her husband was young and had never been seen again. Why did Rudolph Fence cross the road to get hit by a taxi cab and wind up 74 years in the future? Look both ways when you cross the street, to the past or the future.
Number 3, John Titor.
What was John Titor? John Titor will be a military time traveler from 2036, having been born in 1998. He popped up on the interwebs in 2000 and 2001, writing in forums under the name time travel _0, or perhaps _O. No one really knows. He introduced himself as a time traveler named John Titor and wrote he'd be happy to answer questions, as long as they weren't about profiting from the future, and he wouldn't talk about individuals. He made a few predictions. He said a skyscraper will be missing from New York. Who knows what that could mean? He became less cryptic when describing the Second Great American Civil War that will break out in 2008. Remember that? He foretold World War III, where Russia would nuke major American cities. And Titor was rather pleased that this happened, because communities then became close-knit, farming-orientated, and religion blossomed. As for the rest of the world, he stated that Europe was a mess, Africa is dangerous, and Australia reclusive. He spoke of Canadians as the most ruthless people he knows. John Titor was only making a pit stop in the 2000s. He had originally been sent back to 1975 on a mission to retrieve an obscure IBM 5100 computer, which he had to take back to 2036 to save the future from Y2K or EMP. I don't know. All I know is his logo here surprisingly resembles the Bajoran insignia from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Yep, I'm a geek. Here I am at a Star Trek convention with Lita, a Bajoran from DS9. But I digress. The Bajoran logo was on the cover of his time travel manual, which was in reality just the schematics to a Kelvinator refrigerator. But despite the lack of World War III's use of Star Trek trademarks and fridge time machines, John Titor's story has outlasted other internet fads like Coney 2012 and Rebecca Black's Friday. I think his message was a positive one, fake or not. He seemed disturbed by the past. It was totally alien to him. He told the story of how he walked into a grocery store in the 2000s and was overwhelmed by the gallons of milk and abundance of food. He said he had to leave and he felt like being sick. I think we're all in danger of taking things like grocery stores for granted. So I often think of John Titor in the milk aisle. And I'm thankful, because I'm rubbish at milking a cow.
Okay, get one more girl and one more boy to come out. Oh, geez. Your hand was up first, out she come. One for Lee. Sloppy Joe one. Most women, you're supposed to wipe the milk on your face, pick all the wrinkles away so you know. Okay?
Number 2, the Winter Park, Florida cell phone sailor.
An impossibly photographed jaywalking sailor, talking on his iPhone. This picture is extraordinary, because it was taken back in 1943.
That's right, we're back here. The scene of my video that has like 200,000 views. So why not try and get a few of those more and put them on this video? For some reason. So there was a photograph taken across this street of a sailor, not unlike Donald Duck, crossing the street. But the photo was taken in the 40s during the war, the second one. And he was holding his cell phone, which we call a mobile phone. But I think the Americans are starting to call them mobiles now too. But they would say like mobile. Anyway, I digress. Wait till there's clear traffic and then I'll show you exactly where he walked.
a sailor, impossibly photographed, talking on his iPhone. And number one, everyone's favourite, Andrew Basiago from Project Pegasus. Andrew Basiago is a wonderful fella. I mean him no ill will. He time travels in radiant energy between two vertical poles, claiming that Nikola Tesla invented time travel. Basiago went as far back as 1 million BC to a hot red earth environment, and he climbed up an embankment to see two huge dinosaurs. Even though dinosaurs had gone extinct much, much earlier than 1 million BC, but he's close enough. 65 million BC. But maybe Andrew Basiago was confusing Earth to Mars, which he also revealed he often travels to. A Mars by any other name. I tend to think he is the most credible time traveller out there, and he has my vote for the next 2016 presidential election, which he announced his candidacy for. Before becoming a time traveller, however, Andrew Basiago was a Seattle attorney who was the legal advisor on the 1997 video game The Journeyman, Project Pegasus Prime. Coincidence? Oh, that's a rhetorical question. Oh, and the Back to the Future trilogy.